Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, y'all. It's me, Tamara. Hi, guys. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. To all my new listeners, new episodes drop every Thursday. I typically talk about my life, my interests, and the ways I'm trying to grow. So come on back through, you feel me? And for all my day 1, 2, 87, 123, whatever week you came in, you feel me? Thank you so much for continuing to listen and all that good stuff. I'm going to just get into it, y'all, because listen.
At the time of this recording,
today has been a day amidst a week that has been a week. Life really been lifing. I got sick Saturday and it seems like ever since then, like life just been lifing, and it's a struggle when I get sick. Like sometimes I just get a little cold, whatever. Typically though, when I'm like, I got sick, it's like on some man down type stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I started feeling sick Saturday, was able to kind of press through Sunday. I felt okay. Man, Monday came. It was a struggle. Tuesday, it was a struggle some more. Like me taking 4 hours. Was that Tuesday? It was Monday that I took like a 4-hour nap in the middle of my work day. And like then yesterday, typically I have evening appointments. I didn't go to either of my evening appointments. So like Monday, I have all day appointments. I went to my morning appointments Monday. I could not make it to my evening appointment, which is interesting because typically when I'm sick, I'll try to sleep in and we'll go to my later appointments. But for whatever reason, earlier in the day, I was cool. Really Sunday too. All I did Sunday was go to church, though I don't work on Sundays. So I went to church, went home, just felt tired. Went to, got up, did whatever Monday, went to a few appointments, and then just felt tired. So I canceled my last appointment because I just could not. Mind you, I took a 4-hour nap in the middle of the day. No. Once I canceled that appointment, that's what happened. Once I canceled that appointment, I took a 4-hour nap. Woo, clearly I needed it because I don't nap. Tuesday was cool in the morning. Man, by the late afternoon, struggle. Didn't go to see either of I actually only had one appointment yesterday. Today I feel better physically, but I don't know. It's just like in weird ways. In some ways, people have had me messed up today, right? And just stupid things have happened. But then also in other ways, I know it's probably not necessarily the way that I could take it if I wasn't being intentional about being self-aware, and knowing my triggers. So knowing I don't feel good, right? So there's that. I'm already struggling with not feeling well, which then makes it like I'm behind on my documentation. I'm really, y'all, trying to get better at that, but I don't know. I have been taking May to try to become more disciplined, and it is a struggle to become more disciplined. And then it's frustrating because I used to be so very extremely disciplined. Like I used to be doing so much more than what I'm doing right now as far as content every week for my company. Oh, side note, y'all listen. Friday, so last Friday or whatever day that was, I went to College of Hair Design and led another Build a Biz and creating a digital marketing strategy workshop. Yeah. And that was so dope because this was my second time going. The first time I like taught them about every business structure and just whatever. And I took the feedback of the instructor, but also of my daughter too. And I kind of scaled back on the stuff that they don't really need that information. I actually made this a shorter workshop that was tailored specifically towards barbers because that's who whatever. And I just felt like really good about it because it was like for them. Also, then this is like the second time I'm teaching it in person because I had never taught it in person prior to the last time I went to College of Hair Design. It had been a virtual workshop. So I'm feeling more comfortable, whatever. Also, like prayed before because I'm not a fan of public speaking, but so many things in my life require that I do public speaking, and I always have to like pray away anxiety and whatever. So I felt like really good just going into it. The energy of the students. This probably was my favorite group of students. I told them, don't tell nobody, but whatever. Really enjoyed the first group, don't get me wrong. But I don't know, the energy of the second group was just like some of them stayed after and like shook my hand and thanked me afterwards. And it just, again, I said the last time I went, what I love about going there is that typically I'm working with a different population of people that they kind of have to meet with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't really say too much about what I do on here, and that's intentionally with my subcontracting stuff. But the people that I work with, they're not choosing to meet with me. They're required to meet with me. And so this thing is too, they're in class and they're kind of required to be there, but it's just different because they are wanting to be there because they have chosen this profession and this career path that they want to go down to become a barber. So it's just like the energy, it's just always so refreshing going there. And then me and Lindsey went to lunch afterwards. So that was super dope. And then went to like 2 back-to-back meetings after that. So, and then went to my niece's, I don't know, school celebration, poetry, song, whatever thing. So Friday was literally back-to-back stuff. I left the house at 8 a.m., didn't get home until after 8 a.m., just going from thing to thing. However, it was still super dope, you know what I'm saying? So that was Friday, but back to what I was saying, I used to be so much busier with company content, Melon Intoxicate content. So it has really been frustrating to me. Now, mind you, I am doing more in a different way, but I'm really just trying to find like what is the balance to even get back to maybe content. Maybe I'll just start with content once a week, right? Maybe I just have to let go of the everyday multiple posts like I used to. And maybe I just need to go back to or start at once a week and try to add from there because this doing nothing. Now, mind you, my brand is still growing because of what I'm doing, like the work that I'm doing, but still I really loved putting the free game out there. So I was on this meeting earlier, right? And I want to give this disclaimer before I get into the story in case somebody who was a part of this meeting happens to listen to this episode or whatever. I'm not going to say where the meeting was, who, whatever, but I need you to understand if you happen to listen to this that this show, because you probably this may be your first time listening, right? This show is about my life, how I'm trying to grow and all that good stuff. So I'm going to talk about this meeting and talk about what happened and how it made me feel, but it may not be anything that you would ever know because I'm processing it, whatever. And the whole point of this episode is about not the whole point of the whole episode, but the whole point of this story is the importance of not acting based on how you feel all the time and being intentional about processing your stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I was on this meeting earlier, right? And I will say that it was a virtual meeting because it's not going to make sense if it was in person for what happened to have happened, right? So on this virtual meeting, I raised my hand. So you pick a button, you push a button or whatever, you raise your hand. So I raised my hand. I was the first person to raise my hand. And then somebody else raised their hand after me. And then somebody else raised their hand after them. Now, the last person who raised their hand, they were the one that was called on. However, they were like, well, so-and-so who raised their hand after me raised their hand first. And I didn't say anything because I'm just like, okay, I'll wait my turn. You know what I'm saying? I guess they didn't see, whatever, whoop-de-woo. And then the whole meeting continued, and then no one ever called on me, right? Now, someone did text me who must have seen my hand was raised and asked if they could answer my question or whatever. But in that moment, right, after I have had a week and I have had the morning just didn't start off right, right? So after I'm having all these things, it's crazy because if you're not self-aware, the whole point of this, which I try to be really self-aware, I try to really process my stuff, because if you're not in moments like that, you can feel some type of way and then take it further than it needs to be and take it as, oh, this was intentional. They did this on purpose. Most likely they didn't see my hand up because they didn't see the person that was after me and saw the last person. You know what I'm saying? Who knows if they're on their phone or whatever, because if you're on your phone on Zoom, then it's like you can only see so much. Whereas if you're on your computer, you can see everyone. So who knows if they just were on their phone and just couldn't see everyone and whatever. But the whole point is that I'm glad that I am very intentional about processing stuff. I'm glad that I'm very intentional about trying to see things from just a rational and logical perspective. Haven't always been this way. Definitely was someone who was more led by my feelings in the past, you know what I'm saying? But I'm very glad that I've grown in this area, because the thing about it is you can take things so personally that are not a personal attack against you and cause all types of unnecessary division in wherever you're at. It could be at work, it could be somewhere you're volunteering, hell, it could be in your family, you know what I'm saying? And so this is why I'm always week after week talking about make sure you take care of yourself mentally, make sure you take care of yourself emotionally. As part of that, it is being self-aware, and it is knowing that I don't feel the greatest. Now I'm better, but I'm not 100%. It is also, I already was having a lot of stressful things happening this week for different reasons, right? So all that was already going on. And then you get on this meeting, and then I'm not called on when I raised my hand and had like a legitimate question, you know what I mean? My question got answered. Shout out to the person that texted me. But the whole point is, even if that hadn't happened, I still had to resolve at, okay, this was not on purpose. And even maybe take that step to like text and reach out and just ask somebody the question. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a question that anybody could answer. But a lot of times when we have situations like that, we will take that as a personal attack and then be like, oh, well, forget them. And I'm not about to this, that, and the other. And that's where the problem lies, because when we operate out of our woundedness, like let's say I had situations in the past where I was overlooked or I was over whatever. It's like if you don't deal with that stuff, and this is why I talk so much about being healthy in relationships too, if you don't deal with that stuff, when you interact with people, you're going to at times interact out of being led by your triggers. You're going to act out of being led by your wounds. You know what I'm saying? And so it is so important to process. It is so important to process the issues of your heart. But then on top of that, sometimes people really just have you messed up. Like, I got to be vague with this one even more so vague. So I had a situation where basically I told somebody that I would do something by a certain day. Well, actually, I said after a certain date, right? And so it's a couple days,
At the time of this recording,
it's a couple days past me saying this will happen after this date. Now, granted, I will own that maybe I should have, I guess, if I'm honest, I don't really know what I could have done differently, because I communicated that it would happen after this date. And today is technically it's 2 days after the day of me saying it'll happen after this date. But maybe once that date came, I should have, I don't even know, you know what I mean? But like how they're coming at me, it's it's a little frustrating because they're coming at me like I didn't communicate that this would happen later than it typically happens. You know what I mean? This is not company related or anything like that. And so it's a little frustrating. However, I've had to, as I play through this situation in my mind, and actually, as of right now, I have not responded yet because I'm waiting on somebody else to give me some information so that I can respond like with as much accurate information as possible. But even in this, little bit of time of me not responding, I've had to like process this and I've had to check myself and I've had to humble myself and be like, you know what? Maybe how they're coming at you is, I just feel like, unwarranted, you know what I mean? Given the fact that I did communicate that it was going to happen later than normal. So maybe they are coming. Who knows what's going on their day? Maybe they don't realize their tone just doesn't make sense to me. However, the humbling thing or the me walking in humility is okay, but if I was on time, they wouldn't have a reason to say anything, right? And then at the end of the day, it's owning my part of it. So it's like when I do respond, I am going to be apologetic. So they're never going to know that I was irritated with how they came at me. And that's not me being fake, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, and I was talking to somebody about this when it comes to like work stuff, I really choose my battles, right? I really think before I respond. It's rare that I just respond just flippantly out of the emotion that I feel in that moment. It is so much like that rarely happens, like for real, to the point that there have been people that have said I'm too nonchalant because I don't just have this super emotional response to every little thing, even if it actually does irritate me, make me mad, whatever. But I really try to be super thoughtful as I respond to people, even more so now that I'm older, right? To the point where people may think I'm unbothered by things. No. I get really easily irritated by a lot of stuff. However, I just typically will withdraw. Like if my kids irritate me or something like that, I'll be like, okay, I need a minute. You know what I'm saying? This text message that I haven't responded to, just wait to respond. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. I usually wait, but excuse me, but it's because I'm super self-aware. And that's the whole point of all of this is you can't always like control what happens to you. You can't. Like I couldn't control the fact that I didn't get called on even though my hand was raised first. I couldn't control the fact that I got sick. I couldn't control these other like stressors that are going on that are irritating me. You know what I mean? I can't control the way this person chose to reach out to me to get clarity on something. I can't control any of that. I can only control one, how I let it affect me, right? Because if something thoroughly irritates me, I got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? I have to be honest with myself and the Lord about how it made me feel. So I'm never faking out here pretending like everything is okay when it's not. It's just the person who gets the rawest version of how I feel is the Lord. There's not ne'er a person on this earth that can get the rawest version of how I feel. Because even when I vent to people, there still may be things I don't say because I don't want to put stuff like that out there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that is how this week has been. But on the good side, y'all, you know what I'm saying? That Snatch 40s journey is back in full effect. I found somebody to hold me accountable. And it's so crazy because I have always needed an accountability partner. And I am a great accountability partner to people. Like anybody that is close to me that knows if they ask me to hold them accountable for something, I am going to hold them accountable. I'm going to check in. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to whatever. I have needed that in this area, and people will go so far or just not, you know what I mean? And it's like, I need somebody that is actually going to ask me, did I do whatever? And even challenge me if for some reason I don't. Like literally that's all I need is to know that somebody's going to be checking or whatever. And so my small group leader, my small group at my church, I've paid attention to as she said a lot of stuff about like fitness, but more so nutrition. And so I just kind of sensed that she was knowledgeable about that stuff. And so one day we were texting back and forth. And one thing I love is that she's very intentional about, like, if I say, oh, I'm not feeling good or just whatever, she'll follow up later and ask how I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? So she's super intentional. And I've just noticed that about her. And so one day we were talking about fitness nutrition, and I learned that like she was like a personal trainer or whatever, but she said it differently, like what her degree was in and all that. And so then I just felt like I should ask her to be my accountability partner in this area. And I kept not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so then there's that. Then, as I serve on the creative team, you know, I'll hear a lot of people say like they were coming back for the gym or this, that, and the other, or like it's the creative team at my church and they'll have like workouts that they as in staff do together. And I actually was invited to go to the one today. I just couldn't go at the time that they were going. But I'm just constantly hearing stuff like that and being around people like that. And so there's this thing that's been in the back of my mind, just like, girl, like, you know, you're not happy about things and things are not going to get better. And it's not even like just necessarily appearances. You know what I'm saying? Thankfully, I am somebody that I will find clothes that are flattering to whatever, and it just is what it is. Like, I'm where I'm at, and I'm just going to make sure I feel like I'm dressing cute or just whatever. But like, dang, I can't say what I want to say. There are just things changing in my life that I'm just trying to make sure that I'm like healthier. You know what I'm saying? Not healthier like I'm unhealthy, but just healthy. You know what I'm saying? And also, you know, just able to physically do what I want to do or just whatever. That'll make sense later, and no, it's not related to a relationship or nothing like that. So let me just put that out there, but that'll make sense later. But there's just stuff that, you know, I just want to make sure I'm healthy. You know what I'm saying? Plus I'm getting older. And so I asked her to be my accountability partner. We had what I love is she started asking questions like, okay, well, what do you mean by that? And this, that, and the other. And it actually made me think about, like, I kind of already knew, but it just even made me say it out loud. So I know she would hold me accountable. And she was telling me about a three, like, you know, there's different ways we could do whatever. And so we agreed on whatever. But even me just knowing that somebody is there, it already made me, like, today was the first time in I don't know how long that I did like a for real workout. Now, mind you, I walk Gizmo several times a week and we walk about a mile. So I'm getting some sort of exercise, but I've always been somebody that I like to, like, y'all have heard me talk about doing Insanity. Y'all have heard me talk about doing like Turbo Fire, which is kickboxing. Like, I like to do stuff like that because it just makes me feel good. It makes me feel strong. It makes me feel like, yeah, I did that. You know what I'm saying? Endorphins be crazy. So today was my first like for real workout, and I don't even know how long. And it felt, mind you, I did it in the middle of the day. Like, one of my clients canceled. And so I was like, okay, I got this 2-hour break or whatever in between. I'm going to go home. I'm going to work out, shower real quick, and then go see the last person, and boom, you know what I'm saying? And it was just such a great way to, in the middle of my day, just shift my mood even. But then the crazy thing is, I've been being more intentional about getting up earlier anyway, you know what I'm saying? And so now I'm just like, and my kids' work schedule is, they don't have to be to work till 11. My first, except on Thursday, so that'll probably be a day I either don't work out or just walking Gizmo will be my workout that day. But except for Thursdays, every other day, my first meeting is not before 9. And I've been making sure to get up like 6 something. So that's plenty of time to get in a workout, shower, get dressed, and then still have like some time to just, you know, exist, and just a better way to start my day. Again, because I'm not an extrovert. I'm very much introvert, and having to just start peopling without having some like me time and self-care time first. And I've gotten really good at the whole, and that's what she said. She was like, because I was telling her how I just want to make sure I'm like being a wise steward of my body, you know what I mean? And taking care of myself. And I can't remember how she said it, but I'll just say, I've gotten really good at making sure that I am spiritually healthy, right? So I read my Bible, I journal, I pray, I try to surround myself with people that are going to help me grow spiritually and all that. So I'm like very intentional about that, especially because I pour out so much to so many different people in a day, right? That's in addition to whatever life throws my way, right? There's other people's issues that I don't want to say issues, but other people's struggles or whatever they're going through, the people that I work with, that I have to take that on too. You know what I'm saying? And so I've gotten really good at being spiritually healthy. And now it's time for me to get really good at being physically healthy and like really be for real about this journey. I'm not going to be posting anything on social media. I'll probably talk about it on here, whenever, because this is for me. And as much as I love to encourage and motivate other people in all ways, this is something that's just for me. You know what I mean? And so I'm super excited because I know she's going to hold me accountable. Like, she sent me all this stuff and whatever. So I'm excited about that. Cause I just know, man, I think like by the end of the summer, like where will I be? Just that consistency, excuse me. Just like I'm at episode 182, but it started with episode 1 and it started with this, and you know what I'm saying? And so as I just keep going, man, it's crazy because I look back and I think about episode 1, where I was at mentally and emotionally and all that, and just different parts of my life that I could go back and listen and be like, dang, that's crazy that I felt like that in that season, and just the growth, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that is where I'm at. So it has been a day, it has been a week, but here we are. So thank you so much for tuning in. As always, make sure you take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Be healthy in your relationships and all that good stuff. I will talk to y'all next time. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for